Welcome back to the Tydirium Hangar. This is Mike and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I'm talking to you about Magic Square's Voice Ripple, their take on Soundwave in the Legends scale. This is a really cool looking figure. Comes with two cassettes that look great. We're going to talk about all this coming up. So here it is in the box, and I really think the packaging is very retro, and I like the window box. You can sort of see, you can't see his head, but you can sort of see him in there. It looks pretty good. On the sides you get a side profile. On the back you get some pictures of everything that you're gonna get with them. But yeah, this is reminiscent of G1 packaging, and I like it. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we walk into Walmart and they just have Magic Squares on the shelf? That would be awesome. Let's take a real good look at this guy. His face is definitely a Soundwave face. That's a nice looking head sculpt, and it's a nice looking blue. It's kind of a purplish blue. It's showing up kind of bright blue on camera, but it's got a bit of a purple tint to it, which I kind of like that. And then going down, we've got some paint here. Yellow paint that's painted well, actually, all over his chest and the cassette holder. And then paint all through here, and then down below on the legs, red stripe on the arm. Yeah, this guy looks good. He looks really good. And then from the back, he is nice and clean. There's just this little bit that shows through from the transformation on the back, and it's really cool how they kind of maintain this piece from the G1, that whole segment there. That looks good. This thing is a nice looking figure, and so far winning the race in the Legends scale. Look at some articulation here. His arms go out to the 90 and everything you'd want, and the arms are pretty tight. You got the bicep swivel, you have the elbow double jointedness there, and the hands move and remove, and you can put different ones on, which we would do that here in a little bit. You have the pretty much, you can go back but not ab crunch, but you have the side to side, you have the ab swivel. You got looseness in the hips, so that's probably the worst thing on this figure in robot mode, is the looseness on the hips. And actually my figure just came apart right there. You see that? That just came apart. It's not broken or anything, it just came apart. That's weird. Anyway, you have a universal right here, you have a 90 on the knee, and you have that's about all you need down there. And then, so you don't have kind of ankle rocker or tilt or anything. You just have one big foot movement. It's just the front of the foot. So it's a fake it till you make it. And when you fake it, standing there, it looks good. It's fine. So it comes with two pointing and clicking hands, and really simple to change them out. You just simply unplug and then plug in, and then you use this extreme amount of articulation to get him to eject his little minions, and that really does work. So it's kind of like, you might just leave that on there for good. No, I think you have to put the regular old fist back on. And the regular fist itself has molded in trigger finger, so that's pretty cool too. He also comes with this little clear cube to store his extra fists in. I think that was real thoughtful of him. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually an Energon cube. It's supposed to be, get out of there. It's supposed to be an empty Energon cube. That's why it's clear. So anyway, the Masterpiece ones, you kind of clip them on right here on the chest and it holds, but this doesn't do that. So really, there's one of two things you can do with this. Of course, display it on the ground. Like, hey, there's a cube, or have it look like it's coming out of his chest, which is kind of a signature Soundwave thing, is there's always something coming out of his chest, right? It's a minion, it's an Energon cube. That'll work. Let's do some comparisons real quick. Looking at Hot Soldiers, this is the only other Soundwave I have right now, and it definitely looks way more advanced, looks a whole lot better. Hot Soldiers is half the price and 3 years older, I believe, so that's, I mean, you say it's an excuse, that's kind of an excuse. But looking at them side by side, it definitely looks better. than the Hot Soldiers version, and it is a really good looking representation. Look at the thickness. So what you had here was just kind of a lot more engineering, and this was just, these pieces just fold. So this is so much easier to transform though than this guy, and you get what you pay for. So, and there's the back. I like how, like, this guy just, it just looks like the all leg at the bottom there, and then there's gap that looks more humanoid. But yeah, there he is. Here he is next to New Age Megatron and Magic Square's Prime, and he fits the scale. I'm so surprised New Age went so big with theirs, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how their Megatron stacks up. I can't compare them to Magic Square Megatron because I don't have them in yet, but there is a nice looking set there. Throw me in with the McFan's Toy Starscream. Now the McFan's Toy Starscream and McFan's Toy stuff's just a little bit too tall for it, but not out of the realm. I mean, they're so small that a little fraction of an inch probably isn't that big of a deal, depending on your preference. And here he is next to the McFan's Toys Blaster, which is Magic Square's Blaster, but upscaled just a tad bit. And if you can see the difference, Blaster's a little taller. I always felt like Blaster was a little taller, so I don't mind this at all. I wonder if McFan's Toys is gonna, I'm sure they will. What a joke. I'm sure they're going to. And I do want to say Magic Square's reflector feels just a little bit too small. I don't know why they didn't make it just a little bit bigger. It didn't make sense to me. But anyway, there is a scale comparison. So Soundwave comes with these two cassettes, his two little minions, the Autobot Scout and the Rumble. And the thing about this is they have the same kind of coloring. So, and it's kind of a purplish purple. It's not blue. It looks blue on camera, but they look good. They look real good for what they are. Let's move this out of the way and let's look at this Autobot Scout real quick. So this one, not much to it, probably the easiest of the transformations, and so that's all it really does. It just kind of rolls around. It has a little armature that can grab things, and that's all it needs to do. So let's transform it up real quick. Fold that down, fold this down, and fold that like so. Now, I want to show you this cassette. Now this is, the way they're getting away with them looking good is having them so thick. So let me pull in just kind of all the other competitors up to now, which would be like Hot Soldiers and DX9 and all them. Look how thin that is. Look how small that is. So this is a lot bigger, which I'm okay with it being bigger. I'm perfectly fine with it being bigger like that. And with it, you have to make Soundwave's chest bigger if you're gonna put it in his chest, and you can easily do that like so. Should I stop using the word easily? His little leg is getting hung up in there, so let's go upside down. And yeah, so maybe one way is easier or better than the other. So let's take a look at this amazing looking Rumble figure here. Now I have him kind of in a downward pile driver pose, and just look at it going all the way around here. Such detail on such a small figure. This thing is just tiny, tiny. Let's go ahead and take these off real quick. The pile drivers, and everything feels really, really tight, which is good feeling, except if you're about to break something. Now when you put the pile drivers on, if you can see right here, that goes in. You have to get that out of the way before you put the arm in there. Alright, so let's take a good look at this little guy here. He has a little bit of paint right there. His shoulder can go all the way around, all the way out. He has elbow rotation to the 90. He also has this waist swivel. He can go to the back a little bit. And he's got thigh rotation, knee rotation, ankle tilt, ankle rocker, all that good stuff. You know, how come Takara can't make their little humans this good? Like, maybe we should get humans made by Magic Square if they were this good. This is pretty awesome, and it feels pretty solid. Being as small as it is, you have to be mindful that the plastic's got to be thin enough to snap, so you got to be careful with it. I'm careful with it simply just because it's just so tiny. If something broke, I mean, it's just so small. But there he is, and that just looks really good, just shockingly good. Now, compared to what we get with like Hot Soldiers, this is the type of articulator engineering that we got from the Hot Soldier stuff, and I think they just copied DX9, so come a long way. Magic Square has come a long way. So let's get this guy transformed up. First thing you're gonna do is turn his head to the side, like so. Then you're going to lift his shoulders up and then point his arms down. And that is the upper body. For the lower body, it's gonna fold in half. So we need to turn this into basically a square. And so the way we're gonna do that is flip this around. And then we need to flip these around and in to make it look like that. Looks like that. Same thing over here, flip this around and up, rotate the foot over, and then we're gonna fold it. Nope, we're gonna fold it at the joint. So tiny and just fiddly, and it doesn't feel like it clicks in place. Like nothing really clicks in place. And this is the alt mode, the tape mode. And then a real quick comparison to another tape. I'm sure I could tighten that up a little bit more. So, but in order for them to achieve, they're definitely sacrificing this tape mode. This is not a cassette mode. This is just a squarish looking thing. That's more of a cassette mode, but this is awesome in bot mode. That's not. So let's go ahead and get this guy transformed up a bit. You can transform and leave a cassette in there, it's not a big deal. So first thing is you're gonna need to lift this back piece up, and then you gotta take out this faux front piece. And that's the first thing. Need to lift this down enough to pass the faux piece down. Now it's confusing in the instructions, so we're gonna just go to follow the instructions though. You fold it around to get this in the front, and then you fold everything else back. That's the way they want you to do it. So if that's how they want you to do it, then that's how they want you to do it. So whatever. So anyway, we're going to start with the top part and get this done. So let's move the head to the back, rotate it around, open this up, fold the head. Well, okay, you have to lift the head up a bit, fold it over. You don't want to rub any of that paint off. Then you can close that and get that done. And leave this part up. Okay, so we're gonna do the arms, and so with the arms, you're going to, you have to position it to where you can open up this panel right here, and then you just fold it in, like so. And then you're gonna fold this over, and it's gonna tab into this front piece right there, this top piece, so you have to lift that up. So that tabs in, and you've got one side done on the arm, and it just hangs out there. So, kind of strange. Nothing doesn't tab in down here. I figured they would have engineered tabbing in down there, but anyway, it's the way they did it. So let's do this side, fold it over, and tab that in, and make sure all of this is sort of just lined up. Looks like he's handcuffed from behind. Yeah, I'm in trouble now. So I mean, I guess a function you could do down the road if you wanted to. Oh, I didn't tuck this in. So you fold that down, fold it around, and you hide it in the back. So something's always hiding in the back. Let's pop it open. Slide it in there, hide it in the back. Anyway, getting back to here. So with this, we're gonna do the legs. So mine, as you can see, that piece keeps coming open, so I just close it back up. And you're gonna need to open all of this fun stuff up. And it's full of wonderful panels to fill it out, which if it went Masterpiece, you know, we'd need more panels, right? If they really wanted to compete with Fans Toys on a Masterpiece scale, untab this tab right here, and it's a bit fiddly on how to do that, but get it up. Okay, so you got that untab. You're going to end up let's do it without this thing falling apart. Hold the foot down right there, and then we have to get in here with this mechanism and move everything to where it's going to be flush. So now that's going to be flush, and once that's flush, it'll all just fold up. That's kind of the easiest way to show it. And of course, instructions don't make a whole lot of sense with that. Fold this piece up. And at this point, we can plug in one of these, two right here. Close this, and it just kind of sits there. So that side's done. Let's do the other side, and hopefully it's a little bit more graceful. We're going to start by opening up this back piece, and we can just go ahead and fold all that out in a second. Let's go ahead and take care of the foot now, and then we need to disconnect this right here, and then make this whole section look flat, like so. And then we're going to move that up into place. Now, there's a tab here and a hole there. The tab's in. That tab's in pretty good. Okay, now we do have to open up all of these parts and pieces here, fillers and stuff. And then there's this one up top. This top filler piece, and now we got the other part. Now this one, we're gonna tab the other one in right here, like so, and then close it up. And when you go to close it up, you know, you can move that past out a little bit, or if you're uncomfortable with moving that, you could just have the whole leg close like so, and then tab it all in at once. So either way is fine. The plastic is pliable enough, but you know, with the breakage issues, I've seen a couple people break theirs, so be very careful. Now you just slide this down into place, and we have the alt mode. Let's look at this alt mode real quick. Looks like Soundwave in an alt mode, and it comes with a crazy amount of stickers, like just a crazy amount of stickers. So you could put a bunch of stickers on there if you want. But yeah, it looks good. From the top, you start to see it break down. From the side, that is bad. That's okay. And then the back is just, they would need more if they would have made this masterpiece. So that's why I don't know if they're gonna go through that much trouble to just keep making their $45 a piece off of these little ones instead of trying to make $100 off a big one. I don't know. But that's how it looks. The bottom is, it is what it is. But sitting there, that's how it looks. Let's do a comparison to Hot Soldiers. So there's the Hot Soldiers comparison, and as you can see, it does look better than the Hot Soldiers. But the Hot Soldiers isn't bad, it's not horrible. But you can see, like down here, you can see the thighs in the Hot Soldiers one. Looking at the top, looking at the side, it really breaks down on the side there. And then looking in the back, as much as this work that this needs for the back, this guy here, he's actually supposed to grab his rear. It's his transformation, but when you do that, he doesn't sit up straight. So anyway, you can nitpick all the other ones, but he's half the price. And he always has been a lot cheaper than a $44 price point. So it just depends on which one you want to go with. I think Magic Square is hands down better in both modes and looks great. So this has been Magic Square's Voice Ripple and their take on a Soundwave. They did a good job. It's a good figure. I had a couple pieces kind of fall apart here and there, and they were kind of flimsy, but overall, a good figure. I like the way he looks. The big question is, should they upscale this to Masterpiece? I say yes, upscale it to Masterpiece, but it's gonna take a little bit of hardware revision. They're gonna have to add some panels and make it a little bit better in the alt mode, do a few more things. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think of this. Put your maker out.